We're going to start off with a project that Arne here has developed. It's called the OpenSocial Dev App, and it's a way for you to help actually run JavaScript in a client and actually learn OpenSocial and debug your apps really quickly. So I'll hand it off to Arne.
Hi, my name is Arne. I'm from Google. I'm a part of Google's developer relations team. So our goal is to try to make developers' lives easier. One of the tools that I started working on to test out containers eventually got named the OpenSocial Dev App. So if you go to osda.appspot.com, you can actually see this site here, and this will give you the home page where you can get access to the dev app on a bunch of containers. Now, if you choose a container and load up the dev app inside of it, what you'll see first is a tab for entering in code for programming. This code is running inside of the container, inside of the dev app, and hitting this execute button here in the corner will actually run the code. So if I click this now, it should print out my name. What you can do now is, from this default code, you can start looking in and seeing how OpenSocial calls work. One of the things you can do is edit the code. So if you wanted to say, take the response and just print out the ID number of the person, you can hit execute, and then it'll print out the ID number. This is hopefully a good way to get started on OpenSocial programming, and a really quick way to just test out code and prototype new apps. We're trying to make this actually an app development tool so that you can grow a big app out of it. So once you're done testing out a few function calls from this sample here, you kind of move left to right to figure out how to write a more sophisticated app. So I'm going to skip over a couple tabs and just go straight to samples right now, where you get a list of samples that are available in the application. These will eventually be fleshed out with a lot more simple ramp-up exercises that you can use to request people. So for example, the top one here is how to embed Flash in an application. Below it is send an email, etc. One of the big features we're going to roll out with for this app is to have better browsing of these samples, so they'll be categorized. But for right now, if you want a simple exercise, here's the code to send an email. And I'm going to load this in the code tab. And then what's available is actually the send email function. So I can look at this and examine, see how it's sending email to the viewer. I'm going to hit execute.
Hey Arne.
Yeah.
I'm over here in the back.
Oh,
Can you make the text a little bigger? It's hard to see back here.
Sure. So you can see the send message is popping up here live in the application. So it gives you a platform for developing a quick application. The samples give you a platform for learning more about the APIs. And then the next tab over is a data viewer. So the data viewer actually lets you see what's running on the container. For example, I can fetch the viewer with one click. I don't have to write any test code to see what data is available. Down here, if I scroll down, I can see details about the viewer. So for example, here's all the fields that are returning from my profile in ORCID. So looking at all these fields, you can sort of get an idea of what sort of apps you might be able to write. I can see, for example, gender, languages spoken, some movies, TV shows, things like that that I've filled out. So with that sort of information, you might get some motivation to write an app, or inspiration, let's say. I can also fetch friends and show details about them. Hopefully some of these people are actually here today. And there's also some paging code, so if you have a lot of friends, you can still see all of them. And then examine what sort of details are available for your friends. So if I check out my friend's data, it's right there. But if I check out someone who doesn't have the app installed, I can see how ORCID returns a limited set of fields in that case. So in that case, I just want to jump over and show you that this same gadget runs in a bunch of different containers. So here it is in Ning. Um, yeah. And if I look at my dev app page here, same user interface, same code, the data viewer tab, and then I can actually see my Ning friends here too, my Ning profile and my Ning friends. There you go. So moving on, once we've written a few samples and sort of given an idea of what sort of app we want to write, we can hit the Export XML tab. And this actually lets you fill out a form that will generate an XML spec for you. So you don't have to really know the XML fields or intricacies. You can just fill out according to this prompt here. So then what you can do is grab features that you'd like. So this requires OpenSocial 0.8, views. I can add a preload element. So if I wanted to get a URL, if I wanted that signed, and then I can copy the code from the code tab. So the stuff I was just working on. In this field here, you can actually edit HTML. So if you need a DOM for your gadget, you can type. Yeah. Put in HTML, and then you hit the export button at the bottom. And what that does is actually pop up a full gadget spec that you can copy and save. So if I just come here and copy to clipboard, this will now be copied, and I can save it to a file, upload it to my own server, and then I have an app running. So if you have any problems using the app, we've also built in help tabs. So there's basically an online help browser, and this is also available at osda.appspot.com. So if you go here and click this help tab, it's the same exact help content. And then finally, we have a news tab. Oops, sorry. We have a news tab that loads blogs from all over, from many OpenSocial containers. So if you, as a developer, don't want to keep up to date with all the containers, you can check this news tab every now and then. And maybe there'll be some interesting blog posts about changes or features that have been added. So for example, MySpace announced 0.8. Some upcoming features. We have a translate gadget that unfortunately I can't get to right now. We want to support module prefs. So if you have a localized gadget, or if you have spaces in your gadget for localization and you need a translation service, we're going to integrate with Google Translate to do that automatically. So you can just load in load in your translated strings, or your English strings, and then it'll translate all of them automatically and give you a file you can upload for that. What else we're working on is preview mode for gadget specs. So as you're writing your gadget, we want to let you put in HTML and your own XML, and then look at a live preview running inside of the container. There's a little bit of trickiness with that, but we're pretty confident that that's going to roll out pretty soon. Anything else? I think that's about it. If you have any questions about it, come find me, and I'll walk you through some of the other features.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Arne. Before we go to the next one, I just want to make sure everyone knows that we're broadcasting this right now. And there's a chat room going on. Let me just put the URL in here. All right, how many containers? I think it's 7.
I think it's 6 right now.
Do you want to just list them real quick?
Off the top of my head, MySpace, Orchid, Ning, High Five. What else am I? Oh, iGoogle, and there's one more. I forget. It's whatever I have keys installed for. If any containers here aren't listed, then please find me. I just need your crypto key to port it to the app. Oh, Friendster. Yeah, I don't have Friendster. Come see me, please.
Okay, so at this URL, www.justin.tv/mooncricket. Once it loads here, there's like a live feed that you can broadcast to your friends and everything.